Good afternoon, everybody. This is Carmen Wabigijic-Nuchtai, the Director of Health and Community Wellness for Tikmikshing and Anishinaabeg. Welcome to the Health Q&A. Today is December 17th. It is 3:16 p.m. So today on our Health Q&A, I have Paula Naponse, our very own. And Paula will be works with First People's Wellness Circle, and she's the Knowledge Exchange Facilitator. She will be making a presentation to us or for us with regarding support during the holidays. So I look forward to that. But before we get into that, I will give you some updates on the cases within the area. So for Tikmikshing, we don't have any cases, new cases. We do have the one resolved case. And then with public health, Sudbury and districts, there are 3 new cases, 250 confirmed cases, 239 resolved cases, 2 deceased, and there was a total of 118,855 tests completed. And public health, they do submit their reports twice daily, 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Ontario province has new cases are at 2,139 today. Confirmed cases are 146,535. Of those, there are 125,416 that are resolved. So we will now speak about the order. So Gaimon Council at their Monday night band meeting had approved an amended order. This amendment order is does capture travel, and if any individuals from the community travel to any areas that are that have higher incidences of COVID-19, and the areas that we identify in the order include Windsor Essex County, Peel Public Health, Toronto Public Health, York Region Public Health, Durham Region Health, Ottawa Public Health, and then other health public health if they are very high in the numbers. So with that being said, we are asking those of you who do have to travel for, essential services, if you can, when you return back home, obtain a test through the HSN Assessment Center. They will test anyone who is Indigenous and who doesn't have a symptom. So because it's in our order, and if you do happen to go to those areas, you can contact either myself or Marina, and we can help guide you through that process. But calling HSN Assessment Center, their line is on the website. I didn't write it down for today, but they do have a online appointment system, or you can call and book your appointment. And then once you do have a negative result, then you are free to roam around in the community. And, keeping in mind that we do have to stay in our social, our homes. We should be staying within our, within the household in our homes. Another area in the order that was updated is if you do, again, have to travel, just to make sure that you practice all precautionary measures, wearing a mask, hand sanitizing, coughing into your sleeve and not into your hands. Always washing is really important. I believe I'm forgetting something, and I don't recall. But those are the items. For those under the age of 2 years old, they don't have to wear a mask. And I'm just going through all my things. Also for those, who have medical conditions, and if you cannot wear a mask, that is okay. And if you're unable to put on or remove a mask without assistance, so you don't have to wear those as well. And people who require accommodation in accordance with the Ontario Human Rights Code. So for more information, you can go to the website. We haven't placed the order up on the website yet, but it will be put up there. And if you go to the COVID-19 section on the website, then you'll be able to find that document. So that is it for my spiel. And so we'll begin now with Paula and her presentation. I'm looking forward to this presentation. I haven't seen Paula in a while, so welcome, Paula. It's nice to see you, and I was really happy to be a part of the meeting that you had last week, and being able to participate in that, and able to see your presentation, which brought you here. And so things happen for a reason, and I truly believe the Creator always, puts individuals on our path for a reason. And I'm really happy that you could be here. So I'll let you introduce yourself and begin with your presentation. Miigwech.
Miigwech, Carmen. It's so good to be here. I was really honored to be asked to say my presentation. Every week, I work for the First People's Wellness Circle, like you said, and we work with mental wellness and crisis response teams across Canada. So in each sort of area, they gather together and have a team, and then we do provide resources, training, different things for the mental wellness teams, crisis response teams. So part of my work is providing training, giving knowledge, resources to these teams so that they could serve the clients as best as they can. So every 2 weeks we've had a virtual gathering, and then every topic is different on different things. So last week was on support during the holidays because we are in the holiday season, but we've done many things on many topics like COVID related, not even like traditional medicines, traditional working with traditional people, how to help each other during COVID, children with youth and children, wellness, like just trying to help those who are helping others. So a lot of our communities are stressed during this time because they're doing so much. And it's a different time. It's a real different time for many of our communities. So we're doing our best to provide these opportunities to learn and to do different things. So last week ours was on supporting during the holidays because many of us are going not working during 2 weeks, and it's going to be different. So I just came up with a few things that could help. It's not necessarily things that you have to do or whatever. It's just suggestions and things that you may be facing, and things that you may be facing as a person, but also as a worker, and maybe the clients that you're working with are also facing some of these things that are happening. And it's maybe not even just during the holidays, but all the time. So I just came up with certain little resources, little things that you could help yourself with uh, to work and to make a good life for yourself. So yeah, I will go into my share my screen here,
Okay.
and just let me know that if you could see that. Okay.
Yes, I can see it.
I just want to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay, so like I said, we do virtual gatherings every couple weeks, and last week we did the support during the holidays. And because the holidays bring up a lot of things, especially with COVID, people are may not be able to see the holidays like with your families. You mentioned the traveling, and like those kinds of things are stressful for people. And even, like, to be honest, I'll be traveling. I'm going to have to do the test like you just mentioned. So I'm thinking how am I going to do that now? And I wrote what you said down where I have to go. So those things are a little bit stressful for us. But how do we support people to do these things and to make sure that they're okay? But also there's a lot of people who are alone. There's a lot of people who maybe are grieving. There's many people who are doing different things that it may be hard during the holidays, especially with the isolation that's happening. Many things could be happening with them that we have to be aware of, and to be cognizant of the things that we're doing, supporting the people around us, even as family members or even as workers that we work, how we work. So again, holidays can bring mixed emotions. So these are some tips that can make them more joyous. But what really does joyous mean? That could mean different things for many different people. You know, it depends on your lifestyle and how you make things the way you want to make them. So these are just tips that you can try and that you can work into. You may already do them, but just to keep them in mind. So keep your regular routine. So the things that you do every day, keep those going, because that's what helps you, and that's what keeps you regular, and to do the different things and to face different things. At least you know that every day you're going to have your coffee, you're going to have your read your book or whatever, because it does get different in the holidays. You may want to go shopping and all these kinds of things that are happening. So just remember those regular things that you do. It'll keep you on your journey in a good way. Think in moderation. So I know we're always talking about Christmas and a lot of the things that are happening. You know, we eat too much, we drink too much, we visit too much, we do all these kinds of things, shop too much, spend too much money. Uh, oh, sorry, I was just looking at a message. Um, yeah, so think of all those things, maybe you should do a little bit less, or in moderation, so that it doesn't get out of hand. Be realistic and try not to expect the ideal holiday. I know for myself, I've been watching all these Hallmark movies, and it's sort of like, bringing me into this world of different things. So, and you think that it's supposed to be like that with all these beautiful things happening and all that, but it doesn't really happen that way. It's a show, and so we have to remember that those things are not really the holiday. That it could be different for everyone, and everyone does it differently. So just remember that what is real is what is yours. So stay connected. So there are different ways to stay connected. You could your Zoom and things are always happening now. There's so much connectivity online. Pick up the phone. We don't pick up the phone anymore because we're online or texting or things like that. Like, we want to hear the voice. We want to hear, just do it differently so that you're connected to people, and throw the guilt out the window. Like, maybe some of us have lost a job or not working anymore and can't do the same things that we did last year or even the year before. But just leave those. That's not, that won't help to be guilty about the things that you can't do. So just remember, what you have is it's what you can offer the world, and don't be alone if you don't want to be. So, but of course, with COVID restrictions, you have to make sure that you follow all those protocols, follow all those things, but be cognizant that if you can't be alone, if you really can't handle it, you can go and visit, or make sure you have your bubble, and be cognizant of that. Focus on today, not yesterday. A lot of times we think about what happened, and we keep bringing those things up, but it's today that you have to worry about, because today will make tomorrow better if you just worry about today. And yesterday happened, but you can learn and move forward from what happened. And just say no is another one. So I know in our communities and where we come from, we have a lot going on. We're mothers, we're aunties, we're uncles, we're helpers, we're people doing things for a lot of people. uh, so we have to make sure that we take care of ourselves, and sometimes you just can't do everything. So make sure that you say no once in a while, and it's okay. That person will survive if you say no to them. Always remember that. And ask for help. As a person, you always need help. I know we always have a hard time with that sometimes, because we want to appear strong, or that we're doing everything ourselves, and we don't need you or don't need that, or but we do need help. And I've learned that actually a lot these last couple of years, that I do need to ask for help a little more. and to be good to yourself. So do all those things that make you feel good. Don't re try not to be hard on yourself. Like if something thing doesn't go right, just take a big breath and say, you know what, I'm still a good person, my life is still good, and I'm still gonna enjoy the things that I need to enjoy. So those are just some things to consider during the holidays. So when you're working with people and even for yourself, some of these things could be a sign about that you're struggling. And I know I've come across a lot of these in my own journey. So it's just to keep in mind with yourself as a worker, as a family member, or even your clients that you work with may come about some of these things. So my body feels heavy and tired. I can't motivate myself. I find it hard to respond to messages. I can't stop scrolling through social media. For me, that's a big one because I find myself doing that. And maybe for me, it's just I need to connect with others, or I need to do something else, or I need to play with the kids, or you're looking for the connection. So you're looking through that social media to find something that's going to make you do it. But really, it's all about what you need. I feel like nothing I do is good enough. A lot of those times we have those feelings that whatever we do, someone's going to say something. So just keep in mind that that may be a sign that you're struggling. You have panic attacks. So I know panic attacks, anxiety, depression is a big thing with a lot of people, and it's starting to be talked about more. So recognize that those things happen, and that it is something that you can deal with, and that you could find help for it. I doubt myself, so a lot of times we go through doubting ourselves, like even, am I a good mom? Am I a good friend? Am I a good sister? But just remember those are parts of healing, and if you're struggling, that could be if you're doing that, maybe that you're struggling with something. Things can be disorganized and untidy. I know that's happened to me. I know I got piled dishes right now, and I don't even have a tree up right now, and things are becoming disorganized. So I'm feeling, I'm a little bit stressed out, but for me, I know that it's going to be okay because I'll take care of it. I can't focus on my thoughts or still my thoughts. So, you know, I know that's a big thing. You can't focus. So, when you're going around doing different things, you're trying to help this person, that person, or you're just running around in circles. That's a part that you might be feeling while you're trying to avoid really what the issue is. So it's maybe just take some time to think about that. My usual coping mechanisms don't help very much. So maybe you do different things to help yourself, and it just doesn't make you feel good anymore. So that could be a sign that you're struggling. I find it hard to get up and ready in the mornings. For me, I always say that when you when you are when you can get up every day and you say thank you, that's a good thing. But sometimes when that starts not happening, then you may have to start looking at maybe you are struggling, maybe you do need some help, maybe you do need to talk to people. Little things get to me, so we all could feel that sometimes. Little things that should be just let you go, but sometimes it really gets to you. And I spend more time by myself, so you're sort of like getting back, you're pulling yourself back from people, and you're just wanting to be alone. Naturally, we do want to be alone at some point, but when you're doing it to avoid kind of people and not really wanting to talk to people, then you should probably think about maybe that's a sign that you're struggling. So that's just one. Oh, my body feels heavy and tired. So, you just feel that weight on you, and you can't motivate yourself. So, all those little things you can't keep going. All your body just starting to feel it too. So this is all about being connected to all parts of yourself, so your body, your emotions, your physical body, and your spiritual self. So this touches on a lot about that. And I got this from Instagram. I'm a person on Instagram, so I like to go through a lot of things, and it's that from Worry Well-Being. So they do a lot of different drawings and things like that. So I find these are good to look at because you can always, it's just a short kind of thing and makes you think, right? So you think, oh, maybe I do have to start thinking about that. So, and it's okay to do some of these things for yourself. So you give yourself a day off, like you said, you want to say no, just say no, no, I'm going to give myself a day off. Leave the dishes in the sink overnight. Maybe not too many nights, but but just make sure it's okay just to leave it for that time. Call people back and at a time convenient to you. Nowadays, everyone's available, right? Right, the text you want to reply right away, or you want to, but we have to start learning that we could talk to them when it is time. Like we don't have to do it right away, and just tell people, I'm learning my boundary. I'm learning that I'm not going to get back to you right away, but I did receive it, and I'm going to talk to you when it's good for me. Turn off your notifications on your phone, so you hear the ding 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 all the time. And um, for me, I had to do that. I had to turn it off, and it helps. Like, oh my god, like you're not always looking at it and you're not hearing it. So, well, for me, I turned off the notification, but I had the buzzer on, so I still felt it, right? The buzz. So
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I'm just going to turn the buzz off too. And now, you look at it a little bit later, and you have all these messages, and you're like, oh, okay. So it, makes you feel a little better, I guess. But still, it keeps you in the moment.
Mhm.
And take time for yourself. So, go for a walk, go for, maybe coffee. I don't know if you can do that anymore, but just find something to do on your own, take some time. I know many of us are busy. We have lots of responsibilities. So make sure that you take that time. It's not always bathtubs and getting your nails done. It's, going just outside, just maybe having, time for yourself. Let go of expectations. So you want to try and just leave. We A lot of people expect things from us, to be a good worker, to be a good mom, to be a good sister, to be a good father, like trying to just let those go and be who you are and feel it in your own self and do what you can with your own family and the work that you do and take pride in who you are, and not get everything done in time. So, we're in a time when we're trying to do everything. Tomorrow is the last day. We want to get everything done before Christmas. Well, it doesn't always have to happen that way. Just plan it out. Say, tell the tell them, January 1st is when I'm going to have it to you, or January, whatever. Just, you don't have to uh, make sure you get it all done, because you'll never get everything done. And do nothing or waste time. So when you're doing, like, I feel like that sometimes, I don't want to, when I'm sitting there doing nothing, like I think, well, I should be doing this, I should be going here doing that. But it's okay just to sit there and, draw, or just look out the window, or, just light a candle. It's okay just to sit there and approach life on your own timeline. So this is your life. This is what you're going to do for your life. So, you have to do what is best for you. And again, put your needs first. So if you need to take a break, then it's up to you to take a break. So you have to take that break, and you have to let people know, what, even your kids, I know you want to do everything for them, but at the same time, you got to tell them, mom needs a break or dad needs a break. I'm going to go outside for a bit. Just do what you need to do, and I'll be right back, or I'll be back. You're going to be okay. And if they want their cereal, say, well, when I'm done my walk, you can have your cereal. So always remember that you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. And I have a picture of a smudge bowl here. This is one from my mom's house, actually. So I I light the smudge every morning. I wasn't like that every day. But I started doing that probably about a couple of years ago. I smudge every morning. I light a candle and I smudge every morning, and I just, we talked earlier about leaving yesterday. So one of the things I talk about for myself is, I say that I will leave yesterday, whatever happened yesterday, and I'm going to work today so I can have a good tomorrow. So I say those things every day, because it's important, and it's helping me. Like, it really helps me, and I know that I can let it go. And for me, like, I wasn't a smudger, if you call them that, but now it's part of my life, and it's part of my in my healing every day to do that. And I do that with the little kids too, my little boys and my children, and they're saying to me now, "Mom, we didn't smudge if we didn't do it right away or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh yes," and they're ready for it, and they now the older boy, he's like, I do it and I just smudge them. I don't really ask them to do anything, but I just smudge them and he says, "Thank you." And he and he just continues on. So it's part of their life, and and they know that it's part. So I really appreciate that gift that we were given. Like, this is, as an Anishinaabe, this is one of our gifts. So anyone could use that. I always thought, oh well, those are for people who do those things, but I can do those things. I'm an Anishinaabe. This is my gift that I could use, so I use it very regularly. So one of the things that I talk about is helping others with grief and loss. Like, many of you are aware and know me, but I did lose my husband 2 year, 3 year. Oh, it'll be 3 years ago in January. It'll be 3 years. So a lot of us have gone through the grief and loss, and as a community, we feel it for everyone. So when we're thinking of holiday time, grief and loss is what a lot of us go through. Even though in Canoe, our aunts or uncles or cousins, it all affects us as a community, and it happens over and over again. So one of my things that I work with is grief and loss on personally, because I have to go through that myself. So one of the things that we talk about in grief and loss is, what is the difference between comforting and supporting. So as a helper, you want to comfort people, and so a comfort is a state of physical ease and freedom and from pain and constraint. And what's the difference between comforting and supporting? Supporting, you want to bear all the weight, hold up, give assistance to the action of bearing and weight of something or someone. So there's a difference there. Comfort, you got to watch kind of some of the things you say to people if they're grieving and losing loss, because you can't take away their pain, you can't make it feel better, you can't make them feel happier, because that's something that they have to go through. So comfort is mistaken as support, but you can't really do that when someone's grieving. No matter what you say, they'll feel it. So the support is where you're going to do as much as you can. So if you're going to bring them food, you just go bring them food. You don't ask them, because of course they need it. If you're going to say something, you say, I love you, and I know you're going through this, so here you go. You just do it, and you provide that assistance, and you're helping them. You're not necessarily trying to comfort them. And I'm not sure if we can understand that, because we think the same. Comfort and support are the same, but support is you're doing it. You're just doing it anyway. You're not questioning, because that person is grieving. You don't need to question it. You don't need to say, well, wonder if, do they really want that? Yeah, they probably do, but they won't ask you. They won't ask you because they're going through a lot of things. So just remember these things when and the holidays are the worst, right? So like for me, I have these little guys here, 1, 6, and 8, so they love Christmas, and I actually don't like Christmas because of whatever's going through in my own life. But I have to sort of help them, support them and do these things to help them because they want it. So there's a lot of things that we can do to support people, not just comfort them, because comfort, we can't take it away. We can't take the pain. So that was just something I wanted to talk about. And then, so the another grief thing about we're talking about is comfort and support. So when we're talking about the comfort part is don't. So you don't want to take away their ease or pain. And so the things you want to do is you want to supportive, be their presence, and to provide help and assistance. So sometimes you just need to be there. You don't need to say anything. You just say, I'm here if you want to talk, and I'm just going to sit here and I'll drink my coffee, and I'm just going to be here with you. You don't have to say anything. um, the comfort part is you don't want them to help them search for a silver lining. There's all kinds of things as grievers we've heard, right? Oh,
Mhm.
you're gonna do whatever, things will be better. But what you have to do is you have to allow that pain to be there. So they're gonna feel it, and so you just let it be, and you just be there for them. So the comfort part is you don't want to focus on only what you could say to them, make them first feel better. You don't you sometimes it leads to saying, at least you don't have this, or don't despair, or don't, you're always finding an answer for them, but they don't need an answer.
Mhm.
You just want to listen to them, you want to acknowledge and validate that person's thoughts and emotions, and sit quietly, like I just said. And for comforting, you don't want to push the person towards feeling better, or encourage the person to be strong. We hear that a lot, right? Be strong. That person might not be able to be strong, especially during the holidays. So, and you allow the person to grieve in a way that feels natural, meet the person where they are and in the grief, and follow their lead. So those are just some things to think about when you're working with people who are grieving. And grief is not only losing somebody, it could be losing a friend, or but in my case, I talk about grief, losing a loved one, like from death. So that's some of the things to think about when you're helping people.
Mhm.
So, part of my work, well, this is sort of my personal thing that I do. Some of you who follow me on Instagram, I sort of post all the kinds of things that I do. I made these cards for they're affirmation cards. So I pick one every day just to, and they're where I come from. Like, obviously, I come from a Shing, so I grew up in there, in the community, and some of these things that I remember that made me feel good, I put these on these cards. So the first one here is, I have my cousins to share the good life with. So we all know about our cousins, and some of the good times we've had. So I made that card to remember all those things. And then the next part is, I'm a part of a nation that is strong. So, as a Shing, we're very strong. We have lots of good things happening. So to remember those things, to that makes you feel good as a Anishinaabeg person. So these are some of the things that I put on my cards, and I pull them every day just to remind myself that life is good, and things, because I've had to really look at life differently. Since my husband passed, I had to really change the way I thought. Like, so I had to really look at doing things like this, and building myself up again. So these are some of the things that help me every day. So one last thing I want to leave you with is some tips that I come up with too, is how to have a good day. So I talked a little bit about these things already, but to remember to smudge, take those gifts that you have, offer tobacco, do like that, take that time to talk to the spirits. Like I said, I light that candle every morning, and I talk to my husband. I talk to him. I light the candle, and I say, "Here's this candle. This light's for you. You can always come back and talk to me." And I'm always talking to him. So I light that candle for me and my family, and for him, and the spirit world, and just to connect with that way. Drink water. Always remember to drink that water. We do have that gift of water. Like, for now, we still could drink water. Still comes out of the tap for now. Some of us in our communities way up north in different places can't drink the water. So be grateful for that water. Walk or move. So, go for a walk outside. A lot of us have pets. Take the dog for a walk. I know in our community, I see John walking his dog all over the place, right? And that's a good motivation for us to do that walking. And if you can't walk, move in the chair, or move in your house. I know sometimes I don't like to go out walking, but we have a little dance party, me and my little boys, and you turn the music up, and they're dancing away. We're all dancing. And after a while, I'm out of breath. So I know that I did something good. So there's always a way to move and, walk up and down your stairs or out around, do something. So, eat something fresh. So in a Tikmekshing is good too, that we do have availability of good food still. So, eat those good berries or those good, that green stuff. That's good for you. That's good for your body. Listen to music. So if you have a chance, listen to the music that makes you feel good, either powwow music or flute or whatever kind of music you like, just, that makes you feel good. Put that on. Light the candle. I talked about lighting the candle already. Call your auntie or grandma. Like, those are our matriarchs. Those are those women that help us. We all know those people that could help us. So if, it doesn't necessarily have to be your aunt, it's your cousin or your whoever, but give them a call and say, you know what, I just want to talk to you. I miss you or whatever. And breathe, take that breath. We always forget to breathe and, take that big breath in to always, feel the air around you and remind yourself that you have the chance to still breathe. And with COVID these days, that's taking your breath right out of you. So let's remind ourselves that we still can have that breath. So those are just things that you could do every day. You can do that every day, and there's nothing stopping you from doing any of that. There's no excuse.
Yep, definitely no excuse.
So that's it. Miigwech for having me. That's all I had today for my presentation. I don't know if you have any questions or comments on that, Carmen.
Well, if you could turn your slide off, because I think what I just realized is that I don't think we were able to see you while you were presenting through that
Oh,
time.
okay.
So yeah, and I know a lot of people probably miss you, but they got to hear you, which was really awesome. So a lot of good tips. Really, it's very beneficial for us, to really take a look at what we need to keep ourselves happy, healthy, and
Mhm,
definitely, emotions. We have to feel those emotions. We have to acknowledge those emotions, but don't dwell on them and don't.
mhm,
So a lot of good tips, Paula. I really want to thank you for spending some time with us
mhm,
at our health Q&A. And definitely, if you're open to it, we'd love for you to come back again in the new year, and we could talk about different topics.
mhm,
Um, it was very interesting to learn, that you're working and you have still have an impact in our community because
mhm,
you work with Mama West Wing and the crisis response team
mhm.
there who works with us in our
Yeah.
team. So
Mhm,
awesome, good stuff. So I'd like to just close this off. Thank you, Paula, for your presentation. Thank you, Bridget, for being in the background and working all the magic with making sure this gets recorded and posted. Um, Unfortunately, the other health managers, they could not be here today, but they do send all of their best wishes and happy holidays. And then on behalf of the whole health team, happy holidays and stay safe. Wash your hands, wear a
mhm.
mask, stay 6 feet away from people, and yeah, stay safe. Miigwech.
Miigwech.
Mama.